All right, good morning. Listen, if you didn't watch my video from yesterday that I was talking about how to survive the world falling apart, and that's something that you think you might need, I would recommend you watching that before you watch this video. But I want to say this on the tail end of that, and after going through a day of talking about this whole subject, I've had this in my brain all day. I've been thinking about this one passage of scripture. Um, Sorry about that. It's Isaiah chapter 6, and I want to read the first few verses, but just before I do, um, this event happens in Rome, or Isaiah chapter 6. It happens at a time of crazy uncertainty because it happens in the nation of Israel, like at the death of their king. Okay. And you know, in our country these days, we have large bodies of governing, with a lot of governing members, so that when one person passes away, there's continuity of government, all this. Well, not so much back then. It was a very uncertain time, especially in the nation of Israel, because you never knew if the next king was going to walk with the Lord or if he was going to walk in the ways of some wicked men in the past. And that was always an issue. And on the tail end of that, uh, Uzziah was a very godly king. So in Isaiah chapter 6, let me give one caveat. He did some stupid things. Okay, he was godly, but he also did, he had his faults. He tried to burn incense uh, in the temple. He became a leopard, and he was cast out. So, anyways, this is what it says, and I want you to soak this in, because I think we need to keep focusing on the reality that exists right now in heaven. Look at this. It says this: in the year that King Uzziah died. This is Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1. I saw the Lord sitting on the throne, high and lifted up. The train of his robe filled the temple. I mean, that alone is quite a picture. Um, well, let's go on, right? Above stood seraphim. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one cried out to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. These are angelic beings. They're flying around. They're crying this out. And it says, verse 4, and the posts of the door were shaken by the voice of him who cried out. The house was filled with smoke. It's quite a scene. It's hard to even imagine all of this happening. Now notice the reaction by Isaiah. It says, so I said, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips. I dwell in the midst of people of unclean lips, for my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. He's saying, I'm ruined. This whole thing has ruined me. And what he is aware of is his own uncleanness, right? He's standing in the presence of a holy God, and you can't do that without really understanding your own shortcomings, your own unholiness, right? And it says this, then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in its hand a live coal, which he had taken with the tongs from the altar, and he touched it to my mouth and said, behold, this has touched your lips, your iniquity is taken away, and your sin is purged. I mean, that's something. That's an amazing thing. Also, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, here I am. Or actually, here am I, send me. Okay, that's as far as I'm going to go. Now I just want to pay attention here in the presence of God. The prophet Isaiah, before he was the prophet, because this is his commission, God pulls him into his throne room. He sees this. He's completely floored by it. And then he just realizes his own shortcomings. He realizes his own unholiness. And he's broken. He's broken because he knows he's an imperfect being. Okay? All of this, I think, is important to us right now. We need to just be on track with not getting too full of ourselves as believers, not getting too self-righteous or too pharisaical or anything like that. We need to be humble and honest before the Lord and before the people around us, okay? That's an important thing right now, okay? I think it's important because there is so much fake garbage in the world. The last thing that the world needs is a bunch of fake garbage Christians, okay? The world needs legitimate, genuine, 100% sold out, on fire believers. Okay? So listen. I don't know how this is getting to you, if it's bothering you or what, but if you're in that fake garbage camp right now, I'm just saying it can stop right now. Okay? And I don't think most people are 100% there. I think we let parts of that creep into our lives. Okay, so we need to understand something. It's time for us to live completely for the Lord, okay? I think really, as quickly as the world's changing, we should not be losing ground to the enemy in our lives. We should not be compromising. We should not be caught up in sin, okay? This is the time that we have to really run the race, run it hard, okay? Because I'm convinced the days are short, but even still, what's at stake, okay, we could be wrong about the timeline. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. Still, what's at stake is so many souls that the enemy has right now, so many people walking in deception. And what we need to do in this world is stand out as a light and as salt, okay? And what's going on right now, there's still time. There's still time. So let's consider the time that we have, okay? Because it's not over. There's time for us to witness to people. There's time for us to pray for people. There's time for us to love people, to preach the gospel to people. There's time, right? While we have time, we need to redeem it. We need to use what we have for the glory of God and not get bogged down in this world. That's what the enemy wants. He wants us trying to muck through the swamp, okay? That's a mistake. What we should be doing is running that race to win, okay? And when we see Isaiah in this scene before God, after God basically forgives him, helps him to understand his grace and his love, helps him to see there's a need, he's ready, right? He's ready. So this is important. It's time for us to get right with the Lord. If you're not there, it's time to do it. Get right, right? Ask the Lord. If you're just caught up in sin and wickedness, if you are not living your life right, man, you're wasting away, okay? The wages of sin is death. So understand, just right now, this can be done with. Right now is the time to turn whatever it is over to the Lord and say, okay, Lord, here I am. Send me. Here I am. Do you think Isaiah was ready to go and live the life he lived? No, he wasn't. No man is ready for the call of God. Well, all we do is we respond in faith, okay? And then the Lord equips us, the Lord enables us. Sure, there's our part that we have to do, but you have to understand, this is God working in a man's life. So right now, this is what I think is a follow-up with what I was talking about yesterday, surviving that. Understand, it's not over yet. There's still time. And whatever baggage there is, whatever history, whatever things are slowing you down, understand, right now's the time to get rid of that and to full steam ahead, okay? This isn't a complicated process. It's a matter of going to the Lord and just being honest with him, asking him to forgive you, and then walking in faith. So I hope that blessed you today. I've been contemplating this all day, and I think this is really important. I am pretty sure this is something that is very important for at least a few people to hear. Hopefully a whole mess of people hear this and they respond to it. And I just want to say, may God richly bless you. Have a great day. And please take my words to heart. God bless you. If this ministered to you, take a minute, leave me a comment. I thank you guys for all of that. Of course, as usual, like and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow.